be able to pick from there. On my farm, I like to have some diversity. So we like to have 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 different varieties. Sometimes they may be a pure variety like this one, and sometimes they may be a blend.
Okay, so what are some benefits of this 1863 variety that make you choose to plant it here on this location?
Well, I always like to have some different maturity lengths and some that have different pluses and minuses from the standpoint of resistance, natural resistance to disease or pests, different environmental issues, whether it be an early variety or a later variety, because sometimes we have a long filling season in the spring, kind of like we did this year, where it was cooler in May than normal, and so grain's able to fill differently. And you have varieties of different maturity lengths and different genetics, they react a little differently that way, and so having the diversity of 2 or 3 helps you out.
Okay, so about how many days so far have you been cutting wheat?
We've been cutting wheat for about 5 or 6 days now, and are about half done on our farm.
Okay. So I had some other questions about the group. We were here on your farm today because we had a group of buyers that came to Kansas and wanted to come out and see a wheat field and ride in a combine. Can you tell us a little bit about that group that was here today?
Oh, that was an interesting group. I'm glad that they came out. U.S. Wheat Associates, our international marketing arm of the farmers' checkoff dollars, that we can talk about a little bit later, helps bring buyers from other countries to Kansas to show them the breadbasket of the world. And with them, there was people from South Africa, from Nigeria, and Ghana was there. They were millers, bakers, some of the procurement people that work with them to buy the grain. They were here to look. They went to an elevator first, was able to see where we dump grain in different ways, and then they came out here to the field. We got to get them a little hot, sweaty, a little itchy in the grain dust. They got to ride the combine, see how today's technologies are affecting us as farmers, and we talked a little bit about dollars and cents, how we're having a good yields in Kansas right now, and particularly in my area, but how the market price is low. We talked about how that affects us on a pocketbook from the seller standpoint, because they're looking at it from the opposite of us, that they like the low prices because they're able to buy our wheat cheaper. We hope that's so that they'll buy more of it, but that doesn't always work that way.
You mentioned the heat and wind. I don't know if our viewers could see the heat up here in front of us really blowing. It is a windy day in Kansas, and what's the temperature today? About 100 for the regular temperature, and then the heat index is a little bit higher than that. So what does that do to help the wheat mature with those warm temperatures? I mean, would it be better to harvest wheat when it was only 80 degrees and a little bit cooler?
Well, it'd make it a little bit easier for all of us that are outside in it. But as far as the wheat goes, it dries down. Basically, when wheat dries down at harvest, it dies. And so the hot temperature kind of makes us shrivel up a little bit when we go out in that hot temperatures. It makes the wheat kind of shrivel up and die, finish dying, and draws the moisture out of it. That helps. Yeah, it's 100 degrees out, and relative humidity, with the humidity of 33%, makes it feel like 105 out, and 24-mile-an-hour winds, and so that's why you're seeing that wheat move a little bit. And it makes me a little thirsty sometimes when you're out in this hot so much. So it's nice to be in the combine where the air conditioner's working.
Yes, we were standing outside for an hour or so before we got in the combine, so it was a nice relief to get that air conditioning blowing on us for a little bit. Okay, so I also had some questions for you about your farm. I think you mentioned earlier that you are the 5th generation on this farm. Can you talk about kind of how your family is involved with the farm, and you know, what role your father, your kids, your wife play?
Sure. Yes, I'm a 5th generation farmer, and my kids will be 6th generation, of course, and off subject, but had a little bit of high fertility, so we're cutting a little lower than normal. There's a lot of straw on this field, and some of it was down, like this patch right in front of us that you're seeing, and so had to go down. We even missed a little there, so that's.
Now, why was it laying down?
A lot of times it's because you end up with too much nitrogen. The grain is yielding very well. This one's yielding in the 60s and 70 bushels, almost 80 bushels in spots. And so it's yielding so well that there's so much grain on the top of that little stalk straw, as it dries up and dies, as we was talking about, it just becomes weak and it can't hold all that weight up. Which it's a good thing, because that means we're blessed with good yields. So that's the good thing. And so pull up here and we can and of course then we'll, in this case, we're going to save this to plant next fall in a blend with some other varieties that we will choose later. And so we will take this back and clean it and be able to put it in the blend. But back to my family farm, yes, I'm the 5th generation. This piece that we're cutting right now, we bought 10 years ago. It's one of my kids' pieces, and so he was out here earlier checking it out to make sure we did it right. He's 11, so it's not that he really knows we did it right or not, but he's gonna tell me what to do anyway. What all kids do. And some of this ground that we farm has been in the family for a long time. And my dad and his sister and my grandfather farmed prior to the last generation. And my 2 sisters, I have 2 other sisters in my family, but they both married and moved to other states, and so they're only involved when they come back. One of them will be back this week to help finish up the harvest and stuff. So go on and go back and get back to cut here. And so a lot of the ground that we farm, we own. We have a couple landowners, and so tried to get them done first, so they're already cut. And some of that we grazed, because we got cattle. This one was not grazed. And some of it we don't. Some of it we put manure on for fertility. Some of it we use regular fertilizers for. Some of the other management things is we soil test all of our fields every year, so we know exactly what we need for inputs, so that if anyone ever asks, you know, did we put on too much nitrogen or something like this, and be good stewards of our environment, we can always say that, you know, no, we have the test to show that, you know, we put on the correct amount. Gotta start it back up. Alright, here we go again. Another round. And so that enables us to be able to be good stewards of what God's given us, to be able to have a good bountiful harvest, to be able to provide lots of food and bread to put on your tables wherever you're doing this from.
Okay, so you mentioned nitrogen. Now, we've also gotten questions from people over recent years about the use of glyphosate or pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. Are you using chemicals on this field, and do you use chemicals in general on your fields?
We actually use it very sparingly. Not, you know, so most of our fields don't have anything of those chemicals used on them during the growing season. So what I mean by that is this field was planted in September. There was glyphosate sprayed on this field to control some volunteer weeds right prior to planting. And then from the time we planted this until now, there was no other chemicals sprayed on here. And so you don't have to worry about eating any grain out of this one, that's for sure. Now, from time to time, there's always management decisions, because the environment throws twists and turns at farmers every day. And so sometimes there does need to be something sprayed on a field. And it's no different than you going to the doctor, because you're healthy most of the time, but occasionally you get a little bug and you need to have some help to get fixed up, to get well. Texas. And so you might have leaf rust or powdery mildew or tan spot or a number of other issues that our wheat breeders at the colleges and the private companies all work very hard to naturally breed those resistances into these varieties, but they can't get 100% control for all of those issues in every variety. And those things, just like everything else, change over time. So as soon as they get leaf diseases pretty well whooped in one area, those diseases change a little bit. So occasionally farmers need to go in and spray a field for a fungicide or leaf disease, maybe aphids, which bugs, or weeds. But farmers don't want to spray anything if they don't have to, from the standpoint that we live here and we eat this food ourselves. I sample grain that right out of the combine from this and other fields on a regular basis to check moisture and things like this with my own mouth moisture tester, homemade unit that is. And so we want to be safe, and we want to make sure that the products we give and sell onto the market to consumers are safe. So we want to make sure all of that is done properly by following restrictions that are on labels, waiting periods, things like that.
So by using the regulations that are on the chemicals, that's how you know that those chemicals aren't actually making it into the food. So you might have to wait several days or weeks or whatever it says on the label before you can actually harvest it after it's been sprayed?
Yeah, it could be 30 days or more prior to harvest, and some of them have restrictions that you cannot spray after a certain growth stage or so many days before harvest. So several years ago, it rained so much, kind of like it's doing down in Texas right now, and the weeds came right through the wheat, and some guys had to use glyphosate to kill the weeds because the physical equipment, the combines like we're in right now, couldn't harvest the weeds efficiently or even at all because of all the green weeds, because you just physically can't separate it, and you have to spray it. Well, then maybe a lot of those farmers then may have to wait 14 days to 30 days, depends upon the label and the restrictions. They're all different before they can harvest. That's a management decision that sometimes has to be made.
Okay, so we talked about this being a family farm, and I know you and your family have been involved with Kansas Wheat, with the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, the Kansas Wheat Commission for a number of years. Can you talk to us a little bit about why it's important to be involved in these organizations and maybe what the differences are between the commission and the association?
Yeah, I'm actually the third generation that's been involved with the commission and the growers organization. My grandfather was one of the pilot group that wanted to help set up the wheat commission in Hutchinson, with W.W. Graber and some of those in Hutchinson, and my father worked his way through several different organizations, with whether it be the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, White Wheat Organization, which actually spun out of the Growers Organization, Farmer Direct, along with several other things that he did. And so riding along, and with Kansas Crop Improvement, which delivers us the certified seeds and stuff that we do, enabled me in order to know what should happen and what shouldn't happen in our industry today. And so belonging to these organizations help in those regards, because we have to have a voice in agriculture, because our numbers are changing. Our numbers are shrinking to where there used to be a large amount of people involved directly with production agriculture. Today there's a large amount of people that are involved in agriculture because they're consumers. And that's great, but the people that are actually producing it, like myself, those numbers have gone down. So we want to make sure that the communication lines like this media is it's a family tradition, and I think most people out there, even if you're not in production agriculture, somewhere in your background, in your roots, you have a tradition in agriculture somewhere coming through, whether it be your parents or your grandparents, and that family tradition is somewhat under attack as modern agriculture and urban society kind of collide a little bit. And so the form of communications that these organizations provide are a healthy forum. So on the grower's side, it may come down to the membership fee that I would pay to belong to a grower organization like Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, and there are others that are good organizations too. Those $100 or whatever it is help in order to send trained leaders to talk about agriculture. They hire staff in order to go to Topeka or Washington to watch out over the issues that may affect us, to communicate to staffers about if they write their law this way, this is how it will affect rural Kansas and rural America, positively or negatively. And then on the flip side, from the commission sides, whether it be the wheat commission or other grain commissions, they're voluntary checkoff dollars, and a large portion of those dollars go back to things that help me. And so I'm excited about being involved in those because I benefited directly from that, from new varieties like this one that was released a few years ago, to other new varieties that are being released this year from K-State or other name-brand universities. Also, research is also being developed daily in our Wheat Innovation Center, the greenhouses up there that we work with. We also provide research for Mikram Gill and many other researchers at the college that work on some of the things we talked about: fungicides, diseases, from aphids to Hessian fly. Hessian fly is a little bug that you plant too early and can get in here, and it can affect this lodging like you're seeing in this field a little bit. This one wasn't Hessian fly, but it looks very similar to that.
So just to clarify, lodging means when the wheat was laying down flat where we saw it a little bit because the heads were too heavy and it was making it lay down. That's lodging. That's the word for it.
Yeah, so that means that my combine's only going to go 3 miles an hour instead of 4 miles an hour, or likewise, and we have to cut a lot lower to the ground.
So Glenn is telling us your bin is full.
It is getting full, but it's only about 3/4 full. So we got another 100 bushels to go. The grain tank in a F670 John Deere holds about 400 bushels when you have the maximum tip tops like we do, and so we can hold about another 100 bushels, which will get us to the end of this, and then we'll be ready to dump. And this dump ought to come really close to filling that semi up. So we get about 3 dumps in a semi, and it's ready to go.
So you mentioned that it's really important to have somebody there monitoring legislation in DC and in Topeka. One of the projects, I guess, that you've been really involved in is working to try to open up trade with Cuba. And I know you've traveled to Cuba a couple times with some different organizations that you're involved with. Can you tell us, first of all, why do you personally feel that trade with Cuba is important for Kansas wheat farmers?
Well, there's multiple reasons. The first reason is it's a 50-some-year-old law embargo. It had very good reason in the beginning, and you don't argue that. But the embargo has not worked in the last 2 decades, and the people that it's hurting more than anyone are producers across the United States, whether it be wheat farmers in Kansas, or soybean farmers in Illinois, or rice farmers in Texas or Mississippi. Those 3 commodities, particularly particularly soybeans, wheat, and rice, would benefit greatly from opening the embargo up with Cuba, along with other feed grains like corn and grain sorghum and animal genetics. Those are some of the things in traveling down to Cuba several times that I have found that they're in need of. So opening those trade laws back up to allow financing in order to, and I'm not talking about governmental taxpayer financing, I'm talking about private industry financing from a large company or private banks or things like that. So no taxpayer dollars. Or things like there was rules on the books about the shippers in Cuba cannot come back to the United States for 180 days after it's been to Cuba. So that hurts our U.S. maritime business, the shipping industry. It hurts the docks, whether it be in Texas or Louisiana or Florida. Also, travel. We're opening up travel to Cuba now. You see that in the airline industry. Communications is another part of this. You think, well, what is data have to do with free trade and agriculture? Well, it has a lot to do with it because Cuba needs help at many levels in infrastructure, building their agricultural empire back up so where they can feed their own country. And part of that's just to be able to talk on the cell phone with Verizon or AT&T or Sprint to other universities like University of Miami that works closely with the Vandy University and a few others. It also makes a difference if they look things up on the internet. It's like what we do. We get skilled by looking things up on our smartphones, just like being able to watch this video and ask questions back to Marcia and I today. But the free trade is a wide thing. Right now, there's 11 million people on that island, and they can only produce about 30-some% of the food for the people in that island, so they have to buy the rest of their food. And right now, they're buying food from other parts of the world, predominantly Canada and Europe and Brazil. And what I see as a Kansas wheat farmer, or if I had a friend in Illinois that was raising soybeans, we would all agree that why can't we ship them our commodities from the United States, from the part of America, why can't we ship them 90 miles across the water to Havana, Cuba to feed those people? Why does it have to come, which is a one-day, multiple-hour trip by boat or barge, compared to a 7- and 9-day boat trip from Europe, which costs even more money? So if they're buying these products anyway, why can't we sell them? Because the only people that are really being hurt by this is the American farmer who just lost out on part of the potential buyers for their product. And it's all about supply and demand, no matter what business you're in. For me in Kansas, we're talking Cuba translates to 10% of my market. So if those 11 million people all of a sudden could start buying wheat from us, that means 10% of the wheat in Kansas could go to Cuba. And for a farmer, what that translates into is just like we had those South African flour millers here in the field a little while ago. If any one of those, say tomorrow, decide that they're going to offer a tender for U.S. wheat, supply and demand again kicks in and says, well, the wheat price better go up because even though we have a lot of wheat being produced in Kansas, we got buyers for it. So if we'd have a buyer in Cuba that says, I want to buy enough wheat for 11 million people, all of a sudden our price of wheat would go up. Now, it's not going to go up a huge amount, but in today's world, 10% of my crop is a lot. And if I have to choose between selling it 90 miles away or storing it in the grain bin for a couple years just on storage, praying that the price goes up, I'll take selling it to someone 90 miles away.
I'm going to interrupt you here for just a second. We have Sammy online from Turkey. He says hello from Turkey and have a nice harvest. I just wanted to remind everybody that we are in central Kansas with Doug Keesling in Rice County cutting wheat. So if anybody has any questions for Doug, be sure to send those in to us and we'll try to get your questions answered. So Doug, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about Cuba. You had mentioned earlier that some legislation has been going through in the Senate.
Yeah, the Senate yesterday passed 4 bills in favor of opening trade back up. And they touched on those issues that mainly I talked about a little while ago. The financing bill for travel bill, the data bill, and the 180-day rule. Those are the 4 major topics that went through the Senate. And the way I understand it, next week should be looked at in the House of Representatives, and maybe if we could come up with some type of agreement with them, maybe we could have an end to those restrictions on Cuba. We can set back up here in a second and go to another pass. You can tell where it's cut, and then all of a sudden it goes in. There's our lodging a little bit right there along the edge. You can kind of see as she pans around, there's little spots there in the middle that are kind of lodged. Part of that's because of high fertility. We had a huge amount of 60-mile-an-hour winds that came through here a couple days ago, and so sometimes the edges of the field get hit a little bit more than others. I'm kind of curious where everybody is watching this from. Again, as we broadcast from a combine in central Kansas, where are you watching this from? Can you post for us, and so that way we can see across the screen who we're talking to and any questions? And as we go back to Cuba now, what's most exciting to me is going to Cuba over the last year particularly, and seeing the changes that are going on in Cuba, and seeing how the entrepreneurship of the people in Cuba have really taken that country off. And I know that there's several of you out there that are thinking, oh, it's a communist country, why are we doing anything? It's all owned or controlled by the military. I've heard all of those comments, and what's really interesting is over the last year particularly, if you've been able to experience that like I have and see what changes are going on within the people of Cuba and how the government is releasing control more and more every time I go down there, every month it's getting more open, and the people are taking steps to open it up themselves by opening little restaurants on the side of their houses, and you know, we always see the taxi cabs. Everyone talks about those and other things like that. It's really interesting to see how the whole country is changing. And yes, it's a communist country, and yes, I'm promoting doing business with a communist country, but keep this in mind. Who are our major trading partners across the world? Think about the clothes that are on your back, the products that you bought lately from whatever store that you bought from, the Walmart or whatever, and where did those come from? Did any of those come from China or India or any of those, Russia, any of those other countries? And if so, you know, what is the difference there? And so I'm looking at it more from agricultural trade, and I want to be able to feed the whole world, not just some of the world. And this beautiful wheat that's in front of us makes a lot of loaves of bread, and the Cuban people eat a lot of loaves of bread. They eat more bread per capita than we do as Americans. They love their bread, and I think it would be so fitting to provide them Kansas or United States bread really close by than to have it shipped in here from the Black Sea or Argentina or somewhere like that. Because awesome meeting you, buddy.
So we got a comment from Wyatt. He's from Eastern Colorado. He says he's still 2 to 3 weeks away from their wheat being ready to harvest.
Yeah, we changed gears, Wyatt. We actually started Friday, Saturday of last week, and I started actually a couple days ahead of some of my neighbors because of a variety that we chose, and it was really a sandy soil. It was planted really early, and we were going to graze it, and we didn't. And so we were able to start harvesting earlier than even some of our neighbors. And talking to some other farmers in the area, even within 5 to 10 miles from here, either they got moisture a couple nights ago when I was able to cut late and they got rained out of the field and it's still damp and humidities, or they planted later and instead of planting in September, October, they planted late October or November behind soybeans or corn or another crop, and so there's stuff that's still a little green. It's okay. That's we don't want all the wheat in the United States harvested the same week. These combines today are awesome. It's really a more modern marvel. Wheat harvest is about the combines and the U.S. custom harvesters, crews that make livings on going from Texas, clearing to Canada, harvesting, and how many bushels they can harvest as they go through that. But we don't want it all harvested the same week.
So Vicky Wolf is telling us we need to drive faster in that green machine. You're driving too slow for that big boy.
We probably are driving too slow, but if I push forward too much, I'd be awful embarrassed if I slugged the machine on TV. So we don't want to make a mistake either.
So Doug, you talked about the Nigerians, South Africans, and the gentleman from Ghana that were here on your farm today. You talked a little bit about Cuba. So we know that in average about half of the wheat that's grown in Kansas is going to go overseas. The other half is going to be used by millers directly or domestically here in the United States. When you get your truck full, you're going to take that one back and use it as seed. But you won't be using all of your wheat that you cut for seed. Where does that go?
Well, it goes into the domestic market. A lot of what I was cutting yesterday and tomorrow will go to a company called Bartlett, or it might go to my local elevator. And Bartlett yesterday was loading a 110 train unit that was destined to be in Mexico next week, I think it is. And so it's always interesting to talk about export markets. Mexico is one of our larger markets for Kansas and United States wheat. And sometimes we don't always talk enough about that. So for a few minutes here, let's talk about Bartlett at Ellenwood, Kansas. It's a train team visited by people coming to my place. We talked about this. We were talking about a 110-car unit car train being loaded so that next week it can hit Mexico. And I got to slow down so I don't slug it here. Make me mad for slowing down, but that's another thing that's exciting to me, that my wheat could go to there, be loaded in a train tomorrow, and a week from now be in a Mexican flour mill making bread for Bimbo bread or other products down there to feed other parts of the world.
Did you mention that you actually deliver some wheat straight to a flour mill?
Yeah, we have a contract with some, and we will deliver it directly to a flour mill, and so it will be milled, and it could end up on a grocery store shelf with a name that some of you guys would recognize, and so that you would end up being buying.
Okay. Well, if anybody else has any questions, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up as we approach the end. I know it's a little bit hard to hear for some of you. Thanks for sticking with us. We are dependent on the wireless network, and a lot of times when we're riding in combines, we are not that near city with a tower, so I apologize that some of it is kind of hard to hear. Let us know if you have any last questions. Doug, thank you for joining us on the live broadcast here today. Do you have anything else you'd really like to share with our audience? Vicky is saying, oh my gosh, you really are live. That's an amazing lead prop. And you'll see that we got a little ahead of ourselves there. I was distracting Doug by asking him questions, I think.
And we just reversed it so that it can spit it out. Now it just sucks it back up.
So
if I just had this on my babies from when my kids grew up, that'd work perfect.
So the reason that we got kind of tied up a little bit was because some of the weed was laying down. Is that right?
That's right. It was laying down, so I went down within a few inches of the ground to pick it up, and we went a little too fast. And yeah, it's saying that the grain tank's about 3/4 full again.
Do you want to talk a little bit about some of these monitors that we're seeing over here? It's kind of hard to see.
Okay, so we start out in the middle with the steering wheel, and I'm not touching it right now, as you can see. And so we auto steer button is where my thumb is, and we push that, and it actually set an AB line. Several of you guys will know this, just like any sprayer or tractor, and so that it drives by itself. So we have a 40-foot head on, and so I set it a little bit smaller than that so I don't have skips in the field, and it drives itself. And at the end we do have to lift up and turn around and all that. I got to raise up, and we've got different settings for height, and so move it to the other setting. And we can toggle between these, and it shows a little bit of a map. Sorry. And I know that the screen flickers a little bit, but the yield monitor is not calibrated, and we're finding out that it's reading low. But I haven't had time to sit here and calibrate it. But this one's showing about 44 to 42 right now, instant bushels. We've cut 117 acres so far in this field, and we're averaging around 13 or 14 acres per hour because we've been driving kind of slow. And a lot of obstacles in this field with lease roads and oil wells and stuff like that. Moisture's been averaging a little over 9, and that moisture is right with the elevator, so we are very dry here. Keep going, and sorry, I don't always hold it right. And then it even gives us a yield map. So green is good, of course. Purple is not so good. That's either where we've stopped or there's a bare spot in the field. And later we'll look at these maps and we will go back and try to fix those spots so that we can do better about next year, about raising better crops. So,
thank you. Okay, so Vicki says she was just teasing. Her John Deere dealer always came out and told us to run our machine faster. High-tech equipment there, wow. And Sharp Brothers Seed says it looks like a good harvest, and so far what you have seen on this field and others, you would agree with that, right, Doug?
Yeah, that's correct. And good shout out there to Sharp Brothers. They're another good producer that's able to produce certified seed up in that area. That if you need good certified seed, they're a good person to talk to too. So thanks for chiming in there.